Hey y'all, how y'all doing this evening? Happy Super Bowl Sunday. I'm back with some more tips for moving to Texas and things that you will need to know that may be helpful to you. So, I wrote down a small list of things I want to talk about today, and I'm going to start with vehicles. So, here are a few things that you would need to know with if you're planning on either driving your vehicle to Texas or shipping your vehicle to Texas. You will need a toll tag to ride the highway, and that's TOLL tag. Um, so they have the service road and then they have the highway, right? So I usually drive on the service road because the highway is the highway. And you need the toll tag when you drive the highway. You don't need the toll tag when you drive the service road. I found that out once I moved here. It didn't make a difference to me though because I wasn't gonna really be doing all that driving anyways. So something that you need to know about Texas is the people drive really crazy here. They reckless. I mean, like they like to drive real close up on you. So if you brake too hard or unexpectedly, they're gonna hit you. There's a lot of accidents all the time. And if there ever is any bad weather, like rain or even a light rain, if you can avoid driving, sorry about that beeping, that's my wash machine just completing my round of clothes. But if you can avoid driving in the rainy weather, any kind of weather that's where it's not dry outside, right? So any kind of weather that's considered bad weather, if you can avoid driving in it, because I don't know what it is about the roads or the tires, the traction to the roads or something, but cars slide a lot. I always hear a lot of accidents. So if you can't avoid that. Whenever I need to drive and it's bad weather, I usually catch an Uber because I want to be relaxed and I want to be safe. Okay, so that's what I usually do. So next is with when you're moving to Texas and you need to switch over your driver's license. So you would need a few things before you can actually switch them over. First and foremost, you'll need to call and make an appointment. As far as I know of, they don't take walk-ins. You have to make an appointment, and you are required to have the following information in order to switch it over, right? You'll need your prior driver's license or your current driver's license, right? As long as they're valid. And you'll need your birth certificate or a passport. You'll need utility bills with your name and address, your Texas address on it. And a voter registration card if you have it, or social security card. On their website, they do have several things that they got the list that you'll need. So let me tell you what happened to me recently, actually this month. So I made my appointment for so we're in February, so it was actually in January. So I made my appointment for January 29th. I went, and right away the lady was like, do you got your birth certificate? And I'm like, no. And so she was like, you're gonna need it. So I actually had to come back and get my birth certificate and then go back. And luckily I made my appointment, so I got there early enough where I did have time to travel back home and then go back and make my appointment and be on time. One thing I can say is they're very organized, and it didn't take long. I didn't have to wait very long. The people were very nice, and it was a pleasant experience overall. And it's not that I forgot my birth certificate. I saw it on the website that it said birth certificate, but I thought it said birth certificate or social. I don't know. I didn't have what I was supposed to have. So that's something that you'll need to keep in mind. Another thing, so switching over to the different energy companies. Now, where I came from, there was only one energy company, and it was called We Energies. So we didn't have anything to pick from, but here in Texas, they have like 8 or 9 different energy companies. So they all charge different rates. You might want to get started on that, looking into that to see which best would fit your needs. You know, I work from home, so of course my energy bill will be a little higher than the average person that leaves every day to go to work. So I have Ambit Energy, and for the most part, I'm pretty happy with them. One thing I've noticed is that Texas, they have a lot of power outages. So since I've been here, I moved here at the end of May in 2024. So since I've been here, we had one power outage, which is not bad considering, right, where I am. But it was out for a few hours. But again, that's not bad because sometimes, you know, I would hear people over in Houston, their power is out for days. So, I mean, it's not uncommon for a power outage to happen. But the weird thing about it was my power was out. My neighbors surrounding me, their power was out. But over in the next building, they still had power. So I'm like, okay, what's really going on? It was a big inconvenience because, you know, I work from home. So I had to, of course, let my company know, hey, I'm not going to be available for a little while because my power is out, yada, yada, yada. They was like, just chill out. You know, they was really cool about it. And so I just, you know, luckily, well, it was a real hot day, but luckily I always have my air blasted, so I never got hot or anything like that because it was pretty warm that day, I do recall. So, and that's another thing, you gotta be ready for the hot weather because the weather fluctuates, but it gets really, really, really hot in the summertime. Like right now, yesterday it was like 70 degrees. Today is back down to 50, but that's expected, right? Because it's February. But when I got here in May, when I arrived, and I went for a walk around the block, baby, let me tell you, I went walking in the middle of the day. That's the wrong thing to do. In the summertime, you can't really take walks in the daytime. You have to wait until early evening. So anytime around 6 to 6:30, that's a perfect time to go walking because it's starting to somewhat cool off. It's still really, really hot, but at least it goes down to like 90 or 85 or 80. But with the sun setting, you know, it was pleasant because I love to walk outdoors. So that's another thing that you kind of prepare yourself to be hot. If you're moving to Texas, you already know that though, right? But let me tell you what I did, y'all. Before I moved here, I had a gym membership in Wisconsin that I went to faithfully, and they had a steam room. So I kind of prepared myself, right? I used to go to the steam room and just sweat it out. It kind of built up my tolerance for being hot. And it really helped. It helped out a lot because people, they complain about the heat here all the time, but I like it. It's healing to me. It feels good. And so, yeah. So keep in mind of those things. I feel like I had a whole lot to talk about, but when I look at the list of some of the things I wrote down, I don't really see nothing. So let's talk a minute about food. The food here is excellent. Like, I don't think you could probably find a place that has nasty food. Take that back. I did find one place, but it's very far in between. Like, their food here is so good. It's so good. And I don't really do meats like that, outside of, you know, chicken and seafood, really. But everything that I've had, that I've tried for the first time, I loved. I absolutely loved it. But I kind of have my little favorite restaurants that I go to. So I'm not really a person that likes to cook, you know, like really cook. When I was in Wisconsin, though, I used to cook all the time. But it wasn't a lot to do there, too. It was cold a lot. So you were in the house a lot. So I was cooking all the time. But here, I just prepare stuff. I don't really cook. I prepare my meals. And then on the weekends, though, I like to order out to Uber Eats or DoorDash because it's just so good. Like, it's just good. Even the global restaurants that they have everywhere, like Applebee's and stuff like that. I went to Applebee's here, and compared to Wisconsin, it tastes like heaven. I mean, it was so good. It was so good. It was like night and day a difference. So I guess the last thing I want to bring up is, moving can be stressful. You're going to be stressed, so you kind of like be prepared for that. Packing is stressful. Preparing, like lining up the things that you need to do when you're moving in general, right? But then when you add on moving to another state, that adds another level and layer of pressure. So some of the things that I did to kind of help myself relieve stress or to stay grounded a little as much as I could, right, was I like to exercise. I like to walk because that helps clear my mind, and it's good for your spirit. It's good for your body. It's just good. It's just helping you to be clear of some things, to clear out your mind. Also, I like to, and that I still do it today because life itself can be stressful. I meditate. I don't meditate every day, but I try to meditate a couple of times a week, and it really makes a difference in my life. It makes a difference on how I treat people. When you're stressed out, sometimes you can be mean. I know I can. If I'm stressed or just got a lot of stuff thrown at me and I'm under a lot of pressure, I tend to, you tend to kind of like say things you don't mean to other people. So to avoid that, I meditate. And it's different forms of meditation that you can do. Like exercising is a form of meditation. Anything that you do on a repetitive motion where it doesn't cause you to really think, that's meditating. I don't know if you knew that or not. But the most effective meditation to me is when I just sit in silence and I just close my eyes and I just relax my body and I just focus on my breathing. And it makes a big difference in my life. It does. By the time I finish meditating, I'm kind, or kinder, should I say. I'm more patient, I'm relaxed, and just kind of lay back and feel a lot easier, a lot happier, really, be happier. Another thing that I like to do is listen to music. Not just any kind of music, because you really got to be careful on what you feed your spirit, okay? You can't just listen to anything you want to nowadays because it's all kind of like little hidden messages and stuff. And that's getting deep down in you. And you don't want that because what goes in comes out, right? They taught me that in school, garbage in, garbage out. So you got to be careful on what you feed in your spirit, what you telling yourself and what you allow other people to tell you, okay? And I don't want to get all off into that because, we're talking about moving, but I'm just trying to throw some tips on some things that helped me when I was feeling stressed, pressured, and overwhelmed with life, I hope that this video helped somebody today, and I hope that you come back and see me again. This is a lot of fun, even though I feel like I'm kind of talking to myself a little bit, but it's fun though. So, hit that like button and subscribe for me, okay? See you later. Bye-bye.